Hello YouTube and welcome to episode 7 in my Girls und Panzer reaction series. Back here again today for some more Girls und Panzer goodness. So a couple things off the top. First one is, again, thank you for the support. Episodes 5 and 6, I think that was last week, did very well again. So thank you. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the stuff on Discord. It's fantastic. The other one is you may notice that my, temperament, energy levels are down slightly today, coming off the back of a very long shift this morning. So that was unpleasant, I guess you would say. Couple long shifts in a row and one again tomorrow. So kind of just right in the middle where I can record, I am recording. Hence why there's only the one episode today. But I've been told that apparently it's a decent enough stopping point regardless. And yeah, much like last week, I've written a little bit of a summary for the comments rather than reading out. I think it was 20 odd comments as well. Just, yeah, a few of them particularly long. We don't need to be reading that word for word, I don't think. But thank you again for everybody that commented. This is the, I guess, summary of my knowledge. And I guess I hope it helps you to like retain it if I write it down like this as well. So that'll be good. I'll actually remember what people say. So the first one, and it came up quite a bit here, that would be the references to Kelly's Heroes in the show, which is a film from the 1970s, or from the year 1970, I should say, starring Clint Eastwood and Don Sutherland, both of which at that point in their lives were way younger than they are now, both of which are very old men. I think Don Sutherland's still alive. I hope he is. So yeah, apparently this will come up more and more as we continue, but Yukari saying Sergeant Oddball was a reference to Sutherland's character from the movie, so shoutouts to that. I did have a summary up of the plot. I may just read that quickly. Hang on, because it intrigued me. Yeah, about a motley crew of American GIs? Sure. Who go AWOL in order to rob a French bank located behind German lines of its stores of Nazi gold bars. So we're going AWOL to steal some gold. That's a pretty interesting premise for a film, especially in 1970. That's kind of interesting, actually. But I digress. I'll get back on the topic. Painting the tanks pink and gold is a reference to the same film. So that was early in the show, and now we'll see more and more references to that as we continue. So hooray, if people can continue to keep me in the loop there, that would be great. So we see the characters' personalities in the show broadly based on different like factions and people during World War II. So you have your Churchill equivalent, which is the tea girl from the Saint Glorianas. Yes, we have a Stalin equivalent and a Mussolini equivalent apparently as well. Stalin equivalent you would be thinking is from Pravda as well, among others potentially that I'm not privy to as well. K potentially not embodying a specific stereotype as it pertains to America, but rather the Japanese stereotype of Americans, or at least what I perceive through anime. 1, they often have blonde hair. 2, they're rich. 3, they're generally pretty nice. If you think about your foreign characters from, I don't know, any other slice of life show, really. This was a big one and pretty important for my understanding, so I'm happy I got it. Arisa is Alyssa and not Alice. So similar names, not the same character. So Alice is Arisu from Arisu War, which is an OVA from later on. We will meet Alice or Arisu later, so look forward to that whenever we do such a thing. But yeah, I'm happy that I'm caught up to speed now on that subject. That we're not getting an OVA later about Alyssa, even though we maybe want an OVA about her anyway, because I thought she was pretty entertaining. Another thing that caused me a bit of confusion last week was Naomi's small smile after finishing the fight. Like, she lost, essentially. Saunders, we're going to say Saunders now. Saunders lost, right? Why would you smile? It's potentially that she sits more in the K camp of Senshido rather than the Alyssa camp, where Alyssa is win at all costs, where K is a little bit more like, hey, Senshido isn't like war, it's meant to be a sport. Sports are played fair by the rules, best and fairest she would be, right? Like, and understanding that structure. And I think Naomi probably falls on that side of the spectrum. As we continue, I think we'll see this being a conflict, right? When are we going to go too far in the pursuit of victory? And is that something we need to keep an eye on as it pertains to our own characters versus other characters? Is it serious all the time? And then we link that into Miho's past as well, where she's potentially taken things very seriously in the past or had external parties taking things serious on her behalf, causing this angst and wanting to get away from Senshido. I don't know. It's interesting, right? I think Kei's way more likable in that regard, in that she doesn't take it super seriously. In that similar vein, we have Maho. And Maho's an interesting one, right? Because I've had like a week to think about it. And yeah, like, just think about like what I thought she had done, which is potentially inferred that she was the bully, the person that's putting all this pressure onto Miho to perform, and blah 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 blah, family legacy and so forth, right? But potentially that isn't the case. She kind of hasn't even done anything. So what I said, a face turn last week. There's no turning here. We don't really even know her. She's had maybe like 2 lines of dialogue. One on like a TV, which you can't really take seriously. So I think she's probably just a bit more of a stoic type and potentially lands a little bit more in the K side of the philosophy Senshido game, right? Senshido isn't war. It's not about, like, if something's serious, I'm going to give up my helicopter and let, Marco get back to see her grandmother, right? That's important, right? In the grand sportsmanship thing. Like, when we're on the battlefield, she's probably pretty serious, but behind closed doors, she understands that not all of this is the end of the world. And I like that as a take, I think. Her like, friend that hangs around with her, the one that simps for her, notwithstanding, I don't know about her. She might be evil. And we'll see where the Russians land on this kind of dichotomy as well as we continue, I think. Speaking of, Pravda. Pravda is the Soviet school. So again, got to get my history cap on. It's not just Russia, right? Soviet Union, way bigger than that, right? If you have a look on that bracket as well, they may be looming soon as an opponent. So one to keep an eye on for sure. This one blew my mind. Alyssa is voiced by Aya Hirano, who is at least during the 2000s, one of the biggest names in this entire business, right? Most notably, voice acts Haruhi, of the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya fame. Very good voice actress, like just a genuine star, could sing, could dance, could do it all. And yeah, probably somebody that revolutionized the idea of like a seiyuu in the current like anime culture thing. I'm finding the words difficult at the moment, but you know what I mean. Unexpected, right? Like, you don't normally see a character or a voice actress like this do a character that's essentially just a bit part. In a similar vein, we have 2 other. I guess I just wrote who they played and not who they were, but anyway, like Saber's pretty big. Fate's like huge, and correct me if I'm Killua. We're gonna say Killua. I haven't seen Hunter x Hunter, so bear with me. But yeah, I don't know. Is this like an all-star cast kind of show? I haven't really delved into that yet. I know people told me maybe a little bit about the main cast, but if we can get some more stuff there, at least something that I'll maybe write down, that'd be good. Because I like this stuff. It engages me. This is just a little bit more of an Easter egg that gets across the idea of the battle, right? And the idea of Alyssa's, I guess, priorities in war in Senshido. see me doing the wrong thing again. Her tank, it has all the radio shit, right? But that gets in the way of her loader doing her job correctly, because it gets in the way of the retrieving ammo part of that process. So potentially selfish, right? Putting the general, process of how the game's played, like putting that aside just for her own cheating method. But you know what I mean, though, right? Like, it's just a metaphor. It's a metaphor for her priorities, I think. This one's where we're getting a bit of a history nerd on. So the Firefly tank, which is the one that Kei had during the last episode, being included here, it's a little bit weird, considering that the Firefly was only ever used by the British, despite it being a variation of the Sherman. So I'm thinking that Kei just liked it. So they had a lot of Shermans. This was a variation. Kei's like, this tank seems strong, and then decides that that'd be her tank. So the Tank Cafe, featured in episode 5, I believe, is real. And you can visit such a place in Ouray in real life, which I think somebody on the Discord did. I'd have to check who that was. But yeah, they posted pictures. It seems chill. It seems like, if you're like a Girls und Panzer tourist and you're going to this town, that's something you're probably going to want to do. So it's a decent business idea, I think, as well. This is an important one as we continue. I think you'll notice the next school we fight is Anzio on the bracket, right? Anzio is skipped in the series proper, hence why there's the OVA named Anzio. So you would fight Anzio in the Anzio OVA. I'm not watching that here today. I'm watching episode 7 first. We're going to backfill on the OVAs after I finish the main season. But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm guessing we just win. So we're moving on with the bracket. And probably not in a particularly interesting way because I don't think the OVA is like super long. Let me check. I think somebody has like general lengths here. Yeah, here we go. An episode's length. So if you think about a normal fight in Girls und Panzer, it's generally maybe an episode and a half. So just, just a battle, This is the real Anzio battle. Okay, sure. This one's one I've already kind of addressed, but Saunders is actually pronounced Saunders. I said it right the first time. It's just like the Japaneseness of it all getting through and making it sound like Sanders. So, I mean, they don't really have an on sound in their, language really. Listen, English is hard, so we're not gonna judge too hard. I was going to be critical until the rewatch of this point, I think, right, where the Saunders fight was a little bit disorientating, but apparently the staff learned from this decision and kind of gets better from here. I'm just thinking that first part where we're in the trees and we don't really know what direction we're going or what's going on. That's I guess, but then I watched it again and I just kind of understood it and it was fine. So I don't know, but you shouldn't be expected to watch something twice to understand it, so I get where you're coming from. Another good point here was the progression of the recognizability between the tanks, right? Starting with the gaudy colors, right? Which lets us know who is in the tank, and now we just kind of know the general, shape of the tank, and now we just have an emblem. So it's kind of teaching me as we go to identify the different tanks and what they look like. They do have like notably different shades on them as well, which makes it a little bit easier, but I digress. It's good. It feels like I'm kind of learning something along the way. Cool, just a quick recap as well before we jump in. So we just finished the fight against Saunders. Kay seems cool, and I don't know, we won, and we were just kind of like looking off into the sunset, and then Marco gets a call from presumably the hospital that her grandmother has had a fall. So that's bad. I think we're assuming that Marco doesn't really have traditional family figures for whatever reason. Could be dead, could be otherwise. I noticed during one of the last episodes that she was kind of looking at a photo of Yukari's family in a bit of a weird way, so maybe there's something there. We're presumably going to learn more this episode. She's been a pretty quiet character up to this point, pretty much by design, so again, we'll see what happens. But we can't really get back to Orai, the ship, very quickly for somewhat convoluted reasons. But Maho's going to offer her helicopter, and we're going to ride her helicopter back to the ship, and we're going to go see the grandma. So that's good. It's good that and I think Sayori and Marco went together from memory, and Sayori and Marco have a little bit of a thing going on. But yeah, we're going to see how that plays out. I think more than anything, it's just a character moment for Maho and the Miho stuff. It all informs the Miho stuff, I think, more than anything else. But yeah, we will see as we continue. I don't think the grandmother's going to be like super dead, right? She may be a little bit worse for wear, but yeah, I don't think it's the kind of show to do something like that. So yeah, we're going to jump right in shortly, but just my shill stuff first. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel, all the way up to 665 at the moment. Not that we're counting, but yeah, good high number. Very cool. Comment on the video if you feel like your input is worth a damn, which I think it is. I like reading comments, they're fun. Twitter, you should follow me on Twitter and then I'll follow you back. And the Discord, you should join the Discord. I don't think I've made this clear, but like you can use that requests channel in the Discord and then I'm going to put it on a poll for the next thing I watch. And Monogatari is wrapping up soon, and Girls Last Tour looks like it's pretty close as well. So we're going to have new polls relatively soon regardless. So maybe get some votes in there if you feel some type of way about what I watch on the channel. So yeah, shoutouts to that. That was a weird thing to say. Anyway, I'm on with episode 7. I'm going to watch episode 7 now of Girls und Panzer. Rightio, I have episode 7 of Girls und Panzer up here ready to go. 24 minutes and 10 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly. I'll have that picture-in-picture in the description below, and I believe I'm using the AK Submarines subs. So yeah, that. And yeah, just going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Rightio? 3, 2, 1, go. Turn it down a little bit. Yeah, that'll do. I don't know about, like, I just feel my wind after, like, we're gonna go see if Grandma's okay. But I digress. You know, it's between weeks. I always laugh when, you know, there's like that mismatch between the end of an episode, like something dramatic happening, and then like super happy-go-lucky ED. It's kind of a similar way here. We're pretty far into the show, and I still have no idea who like half of these characters are, so that's kind of funny. Genuinely just like a massive cast, for sure. You know what's not helping matters as well? I feel like a little bit of a cough coming on, like a little tickle in the throat. So maybe I'll lose my voice. It's no good. I need that. If I was to broadly guess this episode, I think we're going to be following the Mako stuff a little bit closer rather than just diving straight into the next fight. I want to know who those like two small people are in that little sequence we just did as well. Like who are they? Little people. Okay, we're at the hospital. Oh, love the hat. I know it's not the time, but I do. Oh my god. Oh, that would be Grandma. Oh yeah, we did reference before. She seems like a bit of a hard ass. Now, she'd probably be really nice to you guys. She's just hard on, you know. I love this stuff too. Great. Oh, I didn't expect her to look like that. Sure. I've said it multiple times. I love the suspenders too. They're all like fashion icons. And just best wishes. Whatever you say. Oh, the blush. No, she's just shy. It's fine. Oh, she was unconscious until this morning. Nah, you should probably stay for a little bit longer. It's a little bit of a mix of personalities, right? Because the grandma's like full force, and Mako just isn't. Oh, I liked that. I like that line. I don't know. Do we get paid for this? I don't know. Probably not. It's like a high school thing. You gonna say anything? Oh, Sundere. Next up is Anzio. But Anzio is an OVA. I do not know. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, she's probably super stressed about grandma, and now she's like relaxed. Hmm. I like the vibes of the train there. That was a good scene. Yo, Yukari and the fit though, insane. The boots. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. This is actually really nice. It's been a pretty pedal to the metal show. Just taking the foot off the gas for a little bit sometimes is really nice. Like that was just like a full like 30 seconds of just let you chill. I liked it. I'm tell you what, I'm struggling at the moment. Itchy nose, kind of a sore throat. Oh no. Interesting. Ooh, exactly. Maybe some kind of reconciliation on the cards. We'll see. Ooh. Is that what mum looks like? Oh, mum's a hard ass. Mum's a hard ass, isn't she? It's subtle, but like which side of the table they're on too. Just good stuff. Yeah, you sound strained. Yeah, that's why. Well, we've got to get her to school. If it looked weird there, I cut because like my nose was so itchy it was like hurting me. Oh, we got a big poster though. That's good. I've seen this shot before. That's funny. Uh, okay. The tank can't really eat lunch. That's nice that everyone came to see her though. Nah, but it was more for the tank with yeah. Oh no. Okay, yeah, you were sleeping in the tank. That's okay. Oh, that's cute. What? What was yeah, it was real underdog effort, right? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, with my friends. It was fun. Yeah, it's pretty much the common theme between like everything, right? This has them in like super serious. It's been really good. Did you say her butt hurt? What was that? Anyway, I know it was based on the mother. Ooh, Get some footage here. It's kind of a cursed image, her in the other uniform. Did you go and try to save them? Because water's an... Yeah, exactly. I see. Who did you save? Because that's the thing, right? Because, like, so say, like, a big fucking shell hits a tank. They're going to be okay, right? Because of carbon or whatever. Water's not going to be okay. They're going to drown. I agree. I'm going to save my friends rather than win this game. Who'd you save? Who'd you save? Was my... I like that piece of information. Information? Oh my god. Animation. I'm like losing my mind. No, it was cute. It was good. Okay. Yeah, this seems way more healthy. Sure. We'll take it. Where are we? Okay, sure. Student council stuff. Hmm. They have enthusiasm and spirit. Don't let them get momentum. Oh god, not the twin tails. What is their logo? What was that? Okay, sure. Oh, it's this song. I like this song. Hmm. Oh. I agree. Everyone's got their own different way of doing it too. Hmm. Because here again, like tanks aren't like watertight. It's pretty heavy. Okay, that was a good shot. Obviously wasn't Momo. Momo's would have hit like me. It would have, circled the earth. How? I guess they were just like lifting heavy stuff. It's better than nothing. I'll give you that. Okay. It's good that everybody yeah, everyone wants help. They want to improve. I just wish we could share the load a little bit. Well, that's less important. I don't think you need my knowledge about that. Oh, and of course Sari's going to help with the boy problems. Yeah, exactly. Share the load. That's good. I see. Oh, okay. Whatever you say. Okay. That was cool. I don't know. I read the manual for 2 seconds. Yeah, but like it's a difference between like doing and teaching. Hmm. Big fat goose egg, I would imagine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, that's no. It can't. Not organizing. Yeah, Hana, this flower's really nice. I was about to say, don't call me that. It's not. It's too cute. I'm not cute. Okay, thank you. I see. I mean, we already beat like Saunders. They were pretty highly rated. More tanks? Like more tanks just like around. What is this like zombie village? Where are we? Oh, this is like old school classrooms. Gotcha. Yeah, why not? They're in the back rooms. Oh my god. Is that why we want a ship? School ships had to be built. I want to read that again. That's funny. Yeah, as somebody mentioned before, like all the sailors are high school kids too. They wouldn't need to keep records. Very relaxed. I thought they were looking for the tank like in this like small box, and I'm like, no, that's not how that's gonna happen. That'd be one part. Oh, there it is. Renault something? B1 bis. Okay, that sounds good. Form a new team? Wait, they really were in the back rooms. Exactly. Okay, great. Oh, okay. Do you have a plan on doing anything or? That's actually like a good sound. It means there's activity nearby. She's scared. That's good. I'd rather wake up early? That's insane. It's got dire quick. Oh my god. No, her just like staring into space. Kaiser. This is cute. I like Yukari and the yeah, exactly, yeah. Like Yukari and the history buffs. They're all just nerds, so I mean that works. Like that, like, you know, them together. Oh, we won. What? Oh, we found another tank, guys. Oh my god. It's a lot of people in the bath. So it won't be available for next match, but in the future. Like more tanks. Wrap it up then. Oh my god. I don't know about that in front of everybody. It's a little bit intimidating. Okay, they love it. Sure. And then yeah, so we just like win. But we get to see how later. Gotcha. Cool. Gotcha. I would have been pretty devo if I didn't record that, so I'm happy I did. I would classify that as a cool-off episode. Pretty much the most genuinely slice of life we've gotten. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was quite funny. It was a funny episode. I thought the characters really shone through. I thought they're paying off on a lot of the Miho baggage backstory stuff in a cool way. It's just reinforcing that same theme that I've kind of been, you know, going on about for a while now. I like how we've kind of split our main group of girls off into like representing other different groups. Like you had Hana with the student council, and you had I think for a short time you had Mako with the volleyball, and then you had Yukari with the history nerds, and of course Sari with the first years, being very popular with them in a way that she didn't expect. I'm intrigued with the prospect of another tank again. So we got 2 new tanks. There are some weird characters that I haven't seen before in the opening. Maybe those 2 things are linked. Only time will tell, I guess. But sure, we're gonna have to see. I think we implied that the 39T was getting upgraded, but we will see. Well, against Pravda, sure. And yeah, jumping into a little bit of analysis on episode 7. And we're back. I basically already said my piece about what I thought about the episode. Just a cooldown episode. Bunch of fun character moments. Some really good outfits early as well, which I really enjoyed. Love a good outfit in a slice of life kind of show. Anyway, I'm getting off track. This episode was good. I think it's needed. I think there's a moment around here-ish, I want to say. Yeah, well, we're just a little bit quiet for a little bit, which I really, really enjoyed. Like right here. Just like, I don't know, just let the vibe sit for a little bit. We've come off kind of action against Saunders. And now it's good to just chill. It's actually, yeah, demonstrating that they have a little bit of a clue about how to pace out their show. It's really nice. You'd imagine this is, again, like, from here you would go, like, fight against Pravda, and then maybe, like, another fight, and then Black Forest? Something to that, maybe? But we're gonna have to see. It's very, very predictive. But yeah, like, cooldown episode in between fights. Yeah. Like, the people that saying you could do this one-off, I absolutely agree with you. You'd rather do one here today than get halfway through a fight next episode, you would think. But yeah, I'll go back to the start here and do it in order. But yeah, highly enjoyable episode. Really, really, yeah, it's perked me up this episode for sure. Just got me all pumped for next week. So we start here. We're in the hospital. We see an absolutely fabulous fit from Isuzu among other characters. I think Yukari's is really strong as well. Miho's is kind of just fine. I hope we see more of this kind of stuff in the future, like them just like out of uniform, kind of just doing their thing. I like that kind of stuff. I don't know. They're friends. They should go do like friend stuff together. Jumping off I guess the events of the end of the last episode, we see them attending the hospital now, where Mako's grandma is chilling, for lack of a better term, because she's not really chilling at all. She's very, very intense, to the point where we hear her from outside of the door, right? Already just absolutely giving it to Marco, right? It's classic like old people stuff. Like, I'm not sick, I'm fine. Don't dote over me. Go do your own thing, right? I'm old. I've been around the block. I'm very wise. I'm definitely not weak. Definitely not. Yeah. It tracks. It tracks for sure. I like this line that we kind of just hear in the background. Like Marco's like, you should stop yelling, it'll ruin your blood pressure. It's like, well, you ought to worry about your own blood pressure as well. Which again, yeah, she's kind of anemic among other things. Marco is, right? So she's got a point there. Character design wise, I guess this like works, but she's just very small. I didn't imagine her being like this small. Sure. Go for it, I guess. Very intense, very like, I guess, stern woman. Yeah, like Yukari's just cool. I don't know what else to tell you, man. Look at her. She's just insanely cool. Great little moment here for Marco, because again, the grandma here learns that they came to see if she was okay, and then wants to deflect that back onto Marco and be like, "Hey, you thank them, right? Like, they're obviously here for you and not me. They're worried about you and your emotional state based on her, because I'm fine. Of course I'm fine." And then we get a nice tsundere moment here, where you tsundere out in the end as well too, which is nice. Maybe just two tsunderes tsundereing out. You're a different kind of tsundere. You're not a very intense tsundere. You're just like, I don't know. Maybe I default to tsundere too hard. You're definitely a tsundere. The grammar is, but like, you just blush sometimes when you have to thank people for stuff. Oh, I just picked up. Of course, she brings flowers. Like, it's only natural, right? And then she asks for a vase. Another nice moment here where everybody praises Marco's driving for a little bit. And then we get this moment here with the grandmother and Miho. She's a stranger to courtesy, but please take care of her. And then that nice little smile there, of course. Yeah, right there. Cool. Just take care of her, right? Needs to look away, looking at the flowers. Can't be honest. Just beautiful stuff. And this was the sequence I really liked. Just basically from here to when Sayori and Miho having that conversation. It's just kind of chill vibes on the train, traveling back to wherever the hell they need to travel back to. We have Mako like sleeping, because again, she's been worried about the grandmother, probably hasn't had a wink of sleep, and now is finally relieved. And that's why, despite everything, she tries so hard with attendance so that the grandmother doesn't have to worry. Mako wants to graduate as soon as possible so she can stay by her grandma's side more often. You know, as the grandmother grows older, more and more things like what happened may happen, and you may need to be there for her, so I've got to graduate, right? Yeah, we let the soundtrack do the heavy lifting here. Beautiful backgrounds, really nice stuff. And here we get the confirmation, right? Her grandma's the only family she has left. What about her parents? They were in an accident back when she was in elementary school. So now you start putting the pieces together, right? Mako clearly, like, at a very young age, parents both died, presumably, you'd think from this sentence. Tragedy, as always, right? The grandma needed to raise her right, needed to raise her tough, raise her much like she raised, her own daughter, which is Mako's mother. And yeah, you just, we don't need it explained to us. We just kind of get it, and I like that a lot. It explains why Marco's so attached. It explains why the grandmother puts on such a brave face. Yeah, everything, right? It just all falls into place. I don't even know if it's criticism, but you could also just see it coming from a mile away. So I don't know, take that how you will. It was very well set up. And of course, like most of the family drama up to this point, it's been used to inform Miho's own family drama. Just thinking about how everybody has their fair share of worries, much like Mako. Mako used to worry about you quite a bit as well, right? So this is another thing, right? We've been pretty firmly in the eyes of Miho through the show. Like, everyone else is worried about her as well, moving out here, kind of being on her own. And this kind of argument with the family, right? Left your family, came to Orai alone because her mother was just like her grandma, and she and Mako had a big fight right before the accident, right? And Mako never had a chance to say sorry or reconcile there, right? So just hoping that, I guess, giving the piece of advice to Miho to maybe break bread, right? Go back and make things right, because you never know when the end's going to come, which is pretty morbid, but it's still true, right? If you really care about these people, I've been given no reason to care about the mother yet, but I'd imagine that Miho at least likes her a little bit. But the sister seems chill, so they should make up, I think, and not let this squabble between, I guess, the understanding of a game with tanks get in the way of their relationship. Yeah, nice stuff, right? Just informing Miho's personal circumstances through the other characters. And then we get this scene, right? So again, as I talked about, draw a straight line through the middle of the room, either side of the table. These are the two that agree. This is the one that is in defiance, right? Very easy stuff, but again, the scene just wouldn't make sense if Miho was sitting here next to her, right? Like, yeah, it's simple stuff, but they do it well, I think. To my knowledge, we get our first look at the mother's character design here. She looks like a real hard ass, as I said during the reaction. And this is the very important line, right? She just kind of says the same thing before this, but great victories cannot be attained without sacrifice. And then we learn about what happened during the situation later on, or kind of what happened before later on during a flashback. You know what I mean? Where, again, a tank fell off the path. They're on like a rocky ridge. It's fallen off into the water. And Miho's made the decision to save the other people in her group rather than protect the flag of the tank. But the mother's like, no, let them die. I don't know, man. Like, it all depends on the safety precautions around water, right? If there are precautions in place, then I'm kind of with the mum in a weird way. It's just like, yeah, they're going to be okay. It's fine. Just trust the safety stuff and focus on the game. But especially like championship, like, go for it. But if there isn't, then like Miho's just completely in the right, 100%. And honestly, she probably is anyway. But I don't know. Like, you should save your friends rather than win game, which, to my knowledge, doesn't even have prize money. I like the pacing here, just yet again, like showing this scene at night, her reflecting on this same conversation again, in kind of the wake of what happened with Mako. Then we get to the next day, and I don't know, Mako's back to normal because she's very sleepy, like falling all over Sodoko, who again is doing like the attendance at the gate. We come back and we see that the school's kind of getting around him, put up this big poster saying that they won. So that's good. The school's getting behind them. Can I really win the second round with this tank? And then we go off and find a bunch of tanks. Then a weird sequence plays out as well. So Yukari's come in to just kind of have lunch with the tank. Because Yukari, like, what else is she going to do, right? We have Mako sleeping in the tank. And then we have Hana and Sari broadly worried or wanting to have lunch with Miho. And wanting to check on her. And it's like, oh, we've checked everywhere and now we've gone to the tank. So they all end up having lunch on the tank. Which is cute, but just kind of all for their own reasons. Yeah, everyone's going to eat lunch here and have a cute little moment before we explain like the flashback stuff. Cute little lunch with the tank, cute little bento box. Nice stuff. You almost don't want to eat it. Are these like little hot dogs? They love hot dogs and those kind of things. After a small conversation, we get right into it with kind of Miho repeating the stuff that kind of the mother said, right? Winning's the only thing that matters. And then the people around her just disagreeing. Like, is it the only thing that matters? I mean, we had a lot of fun. Then we had a lot of fun against St. Glorianas as well. And then during training and then practice and blah, blah, blah. Isn't it been about having fun the entire time? That's what we've been doing. I mean, hopefully like a great mix between having fun and succeeding, right? That's what it's all about. That's what sport is about, right? At first, it just felt cramped in there and my butt hurt. But now I'm really enjoying it. Sari's just just says whatever she wants, huh? And I guess Miho didn't really think about it, but she's been having fun the entire time too. I used to think winning was all that mattered, so once I lost, I ran away from Senshiro. And Yukari adds the context here. She watched the game on TV, the match on TV. Here we see, like, cursed image of Miho in a different uniform. We hate that. So yeah, one of the tanks gets shot at, falls off into the water. That seems to be running at a pretty decent pace too. Miho sees this and decides to abandon her own tank in order to save the people that fell into the water. But that tank was the flag tank, and that resulted in them losing. They would have won 10 times in a row, they only won 9, and yeah, it was because she tried to save her friends, essentially. And Yukari's right. I think you made the right call. And Yukari here says as well, I'm sure the teammates you saved are grateful. You would think this line only exists for Maho to be one of the teammates. So we're going to see what she thinks about that. She's probably got, again, like being brought up on the same doctrine almost, right? She's probably got some opinions on it. Probably mixed. Like, I would have been fine. You should have worried about, attaining victory. But also, that's my sister. I'm going to go and save my sister. That's way more important than any tank match. I don't know. I'm sure it'll all come out in the wash eventually when we get to that point in the story. And then she's so very excited to be thanked by Miho. The animation's pretty fun though, so I like that. Yeah, even there, that's a very cute shot too. Okay, great. There's more than one way to practice Senshido, and the path we walk will soon become our own Senshido. Instead of following Nishizumi's style, we're creating our own. Sergeant Oddball style, for sure. Yeah, and that's kind of our first half of the episode, and then the second half goes into well, now we're focusing a bit more on the broader group. So we're up against Anzio next round. Anzio apparently tough school or something. I don't know, we kind of set up Saunders better in that regard, I think, that they were like massive. There's Anzio. I couldn't begin to tell you what they're about. I like Twin Towers Girl though, because Twin Towers are like a cool design decision. Are these like the rest of the characters too, you would think? Again, I'll meet them in time. It's like a pizza. What's going on here? Like a pizza? Like, are you Italian? Is that what we're getting at? Can't wait for that to be wrong. Everyone's just like saying random shit in this scene as well, and we just have like the student council president just like eating a bag or something. It's a weird scene, this one. Let me go off into a bit of a training montage. I'd like to think that this here is included to show the dangers of water around tanks and how water can seep in. Again, a tank's made of fucking metal, it's gonna sink. We bring up here that potentially Senshido's been like a hard workout and like losing weight since we started riding tanks. There is physical exertion there as well. Like we saw the first year's like kind of lifting up that big old shell before, and it was very heavy. And again, as I said during the reaction, it's more than like nothing. You're still like moving around. You're still like, I don't know, like you're in the tank, you're probably like bending over a lot and stuff. Anyway. Like, you know what I mean, though, right? But, like, going for a run's probably more productive in that regard. It improved her, like, blood flow or something? Because she's, like, kind of anemic? Anyway, whatever. And then basically this part is, like, everybody asks Miho for help, right? Because she's, like, the commander. Yeah, everybody in all the different groups have their own little unique problems that need solving. That being the student council, the volleyball, the history, and the first years. And I think it's a perfect setup for a joke here, right? Because it's like, oh yeah, my expertise, my expertise, my expertise. And then, of course, Sayori's expertise, which is around the relationship stuff. Just great. I think it was very well set up. It's almost like a rule of fours here, which is interesting too for our comedic stuff. First, we see Yukari flexing her tank knowledge over the history gang, saying that the Stug 3, their tank, it isn't really like a tank. It's kind of just like an armored fighting vehicle for infantry frontline duty. It's more of like a support vehicle, like light artillery, sure. Self-propelled guns, and then they all point at her. I don't really get that part, but I'm sure that struck a nerve. We see here Marco like speed reads the book to drive the 39T, right? Is this the 39T? Am I stupid? I've definitely got that written down. Hold up. Now this is the Type 89. I think the first years have the 39T. Do they? Or maybe the student council. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, Mako good at driving. I don't know. She doesn't really isn't really shown her demonstrating that to anybody else, but it's nice that she can drive well. I love this like space cadet in the background. She's great. Like she's always got the same face. Anyway, Sarah explaining the relationship stuff to all the girls. It's like, wow, she's truly a love guru. I bet she's had like a ton of boyfriends. Not really. It's been a problem for her. Nice little scene between, I think you say your name is Yuzu? Yuzu and Hana here. Just like, you know, they're doing paperwork together. Again, Hana's very meticulous, so she's good for this kind of work. The flower helps to brighten things up as well. It's a good pairing, I think. I think we need some more, like, student council president backstory. Very, very interesting, where she's just, like, constantly thanking Miho for her work and stuff, but it's kind of like a rat bag. She seems like she's kind of out of it, but I think secretly she really wants this to succeed as well. Like, she's obviously set up the Senshido Club like as a very like attractive prospect because she wants people to join, and like almost like bullies like Miho into joining initially. So clearly she wants it to be a success. I'm just querying why at this point. I wonder if we'll get into it. Miho thanks the student council president for the opportunity as well, saying that it shifted her entire perspective, which again is something we saw just before. But with our current tanks, we may not stand a chance going further into the competition. But then, hey, these records suggest that there's more tanks. Says Hana, so maybe we'll go look for more tanks. And we do. We all split up to look in different locations for these tanks. These guys go to, I'm guessing this is like the old school, right? We built a new school, this is the old school. Considering the club had been dormant for 20 years, I think they say, it would be out here if we had it. We have Sari in the first years in the back rooms, which is a great little subplot that they just get like lost because they're all just not very bright. I don't know why we put all these characters together. And we still see that, again, she's just like constantly doing it. Yeah, she's my new favorite, by the way. I'm just going to point it out every single time now. To cultivate the next generation of leaders and to strengthen independence and self-reliance in youth, school ships had to be built. That's why we're on a ship, apparently. And that's why we see like student sailors down below as well. It might just be an unfortunate outcome of an aimless education policy. But no, I don't know. I don't know what the government's doing here, but I think they're kind of popping off. I don't know, sailing school. And yeah, the sailors point out a tank in that direction. Then we talk to Yuzu for a bit more about the history of the school with tanks all the way from the 1920s onwards. And yeah, student council president just relaxing as opposed to Momo who's like freaking out. So this is the last club room. We look out the window. Who did the laundry? And then we find like Big Gun. And then like the history gang just find it because a stick fell in a random direction. That's pretty fortuitous, but sure. Sasuga Montgomery. Why do we call him Montgomery? Guderian? I'm going to do some research. Heinz Guderian? Guderian was a general during World War II who, after the war, became a successful memoirist. An early pioneer and advocate of the Blitzkrieg approach, he played a central role in the development of the Panzer Division concept. In 1936, he became inspector of motorized troops. Guderian surrendered in 1945 and was interned until 1948. He was released without charge and retired to write his memoirs. It was entitled Panzer Leader, and the autobiography became a bestseller. Interesting. Okay, sure. As opposed to Bernard Montgomery, you would think, who was Field Marshal Bernard Law Montgomery, who was a senior British Army officer that served during the First World War, the Irish War of Independence, and the Second World War. Okay. After the war, he became Commander-in-Chief of the British Army of the Rhine, and then he served with NATO. Okay, sure. This is like history nerd shit, huh? Yeah, if you're sitting here and getting all of these references, I'd imagine this show's just a treat for you. I have to do all the research. We bring up the idea of forming a new team with these new tanks we found as well, so maybe that's these people in the opening that I keep commenting on, so maybe that. We get to the end of the day, Sari and the freshmen still haven't returned. We get a call on Marco's phone. We hear the cat meow again, and oh, look at Yukari here. She's so happy about the new tank too. Either way, they're like stuck in the back rooms of the boat. We give Miho a map, and it's like, hey, go rescue them. I don't know, you're the commander. This seems like way more of like a student council president issue, but sure. It almost feels like a haunted house. We hear a loud sound, and 3 of the girls get scared, except for Hana, who is very composed, as we've said before. The most of which getting scared was Marco, right? This is some, again, nice new character stuff. Normally pretty low-key, but easily gets scared, is a little bit frightful. I'd rather get up early than be in a scary place like this, which is that's big for her, right? Again, you really think I'm not going to bring it up at every opportunity now? Look at it. She's just great. I love her. I'm going to call her Space Cadet, I think. She's great. I don't know about all the first years, like, crying, like over here. But then again, she just, like, does not care at all. See? Amazing. Another nice little moment here as well. Yukari's phone goes off, which is her ringtone is like cannon fire. Well, not cannon fire, like tank fire. And it scares Mako half to death. Pretty good. Head west, Guderian. Western front it is. Yeah, they're great. Oh yeah, the history group used divination again to figure out which direction to go. Head west. And then it was just correct again. And then a little payoff for the Sari set up before about her being unpopular with the guys, then very popular with the first years after they're relieved that Sari was, I guess keeping them company while they were scared. But then behind them again, we find Tank. Very ha-ha funny that they missed the giant tank behind them. So apparently our additions won't be ready for the next match against Anzio, but can be used in the future beyond that. Everyone's just relaxing after a hard day's work finding the tanks in the bath. Which again is already foreign to me because I'm like a Westerner, right? Like bathing together with everybody, that's like, no. And then Miho goes and does this, right? She's like fucking has like full kit off, just gets up in front of everybody. You'd have to be so confident to do this. That's insane. But it's nice. She revs up the troops like a true commander would. And I mean, it works. We just like beat them. So if I had to guess, I'm guessing like the people that saw this and didn't know about the OVA would have thought that this was kind of lame. They would just like skip a stage in the bracket. I mean, we win. Look at it. These kind of look like the silhouettes we saw before as well. So I'm imagining those are just the characters we'll meet along the way. I wonder if is this like a production thing? Did we run out of time and budget, or did we just decide to make this decision that you weren't particularly relevant, so we'll just go right past you? I don't know. Again, I like your twin tails, though. Yeah, another victory for Orai, and now we're on to the ED, and subsequently on to next week, where apparently we're going to fight Pravda, according to our little preview. Yeah, next time, Girls and Panzer against Pravda. You would have to think that we're going to fight Pravda next week. So yeah, another banger episode of Girls and Panzer. Great for all the reasons I've already said. I like the pacing of it a lot. I think it's very funny. The group of... I guess I was already sold on our main five, but I guess the overall group is growing on me as well. I think if I do a little bit more research, the history crew are going to grow on me a ton. I already like the Guderian stuff. I think that's cool. The Miho stuff, it's just constantly in every episode, I think, like just adding little tidbits to whatever the hell happened. Now we've got a pretty clear picture there, and how all the other events and the character drama of the rest of the girls is reflecting this. Broadly falling back on family in a weird way as well, right? So we haven't really got Saris yet, but we've got all the other girls, like Hana with her family stuff, we have Yukari with her family stuff, and we have, of course, Mako's family as well. Again, all just reflecting different aspects of maybe the lesson that Miho should take going forward. But most of all, it's just really entertaining. Like, I could watch another one right now if I didn't need to, like, keep talking over it. So... Again, it is what it is. Yeah, back for two more. We're going to try to do 2 and 2 and 2 to finish our season off. I think that's our best structure going forward. But again, we'll see what happens. Hopefully I'm not inundated with 10-hour shifts over the weekend again. I think that'd be good for everybody, I think. Either way, just my show stuff one more time before we hit the hay. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord. Talk about Girls and Pans on the Discord. Vote in future polls on the Discord and whatever else in between. And yeah, thank you very, 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 very much for watching. And I hope to catch you next week for episodes 8 and 9 of Girls und Panzer. I think it's 8 and 9 anyway. Anyway, we'll see. Right here. I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.